4:02 p.m. We're going to call the March 16th meeting of the Police Commission to order at this time. For the record, I'd like to show that our Executive Secretary, Amy Muccio, is here to our far right. To my immediate right, the camera's left, Commissioner Goodgame and Commissioner Steve Wood. On the telephone in Florida on vacation is Commissioner Joe Balboni. To my immediate left, the camera's right, will be Chief Dean Rondo, and to his left, camera's far right, Captain Mark Libby. This time, I'd like to stand and pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time I'll take a consideration or a motion on the consideration minutes from the February 16th meeting, the regular portion of our meeting, as well as a special meeting on March 8th. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I'd like to discuss the March 8th special meeting.
Okay.
Just to make it clear, and the paragraph starts with Chairman Wood opened the meeting, and then down to is to discuss personnel. I'd like to add in there personnel, and then parentheses, interview of candidates for open positions, close parentheses.
Okay. So you're going to make a motion with that amendment to it?
Yes.
That addition?
Yeah.
Joe, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Joe Balboni is.
Okay. All right, Chief, if you'd like to proceed with the...
And then before we get into the activity reports, I have a proposal.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to congratulate Chairman Wood on being reelected, and I would propose that he continue on as chairman for the next year.
Thank you.
Is that a motion?
Yes?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Balboni is.
White ballot.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I
All right.
appreciate your faith and confidence in me. Okay. Chief, if you would, please.
Mr. Chairman, congratulations once
Hold on
again.
a
Thank you
second.
very much.
1 minute, please. Oh, yes. We want to appoint a vice chair at the same time?
Well, we have a vice chair right now,
Right.
but I think it would be probably appropriate to name a new one
Okay.
for the organization.
Following the protocol, do you want to, you're currently sitting as,
Sorry?
you're not vice chair now, right? Joe is, correct?
I don't know who is vice chair. I think Joe is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's.
Okay. Joe, I'm going to make a motion that effective, I guess immediately, whatever, we'll just, that we make Commissioner Goodgame vice chair moving forward.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a second on my motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Balboni is.
Aye. Okay. All right, so moved. Now, sorry, Chief, for the delay. If you would proceed, please, with the monthly activity reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, congratulations. And Vice Chair, congratulations.
Thank you.
So moving forward with the arrests, no pun intended. You see the month of February, we were down from January, where we had 22, and that's a 22.72% decrease. And that, I think, is primarily due just to the adverse weather and relatively slow month. The other documents that you have in your packet, in back of that, are the background data and press releases. The media has a copy of that. The charts that you see reflected, there's 4 of them. They're just various analysis reports. I ran one report by race and sex. I ran another report for protective custody, summonses, arrest by time of day, and arrests on view. Just for your edification. So if you want to see at what times and so forth, these things are occurring on what days, you have that information for your constituents, should they ask any questions. The next chart I'm going to refer to is incidents year-to-date 2017. You'll see we were up from 33 to 37. That's a 12.12% increase in the month of February. And that is often reflective of people coming up midwinter and checking on their properties and realizing that something has been broken into, or that something isn't as they left it. Now, what I want to bring, Vice Chair, to your attention is that incidents are not necessarily indicative of offenses. There are oftentimes multiple offenses in a single incident. Gentlemen, the background data that you have is included in the incident status report by officer, so you can see how these cases are being assigned out by officers. So moving on to offenses, you'll see that there's a chart here of offenses listed by the month, for the month of February. So 76 offenses. So you had 37 incidents with multiple offenses occurring in each one of those cases, for a total of 76. So that's a lot of offenses. So that gives you a good snapshot for the month of February. Collisions year to date, we're up 55.55% from 9 to 14, and that's indicative of just bad weather. Moving on, you'll see where the accident breakdown chart, where these accidents are occurring. Again, there's no mystery here. These are really occurring in all the primary or the usual suspects, Center Street and Route 28, with a few scattered throughout the rest of town. So, of course, the big winner this past month was Center Street with a total of 3 crashes. Traffic stops, 2017. I know, Vice Chair, that this is your favorite chart. I know how much of a numbers guy you really are. And you'll see we were up slightly this past month from 93 in January to 117 traffic stops in February. But when you really break it out, and I've done the math for you on the chart, Commissioner, so you wouldn't have to. You have 8 tickets given out of 117 motor vehicle stops. So what that really means is you have a 6.83% chance of getting a ticket, or if you look at it conversely, and this is important, you have a 1,462.5% chance of receiving a warning. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's a pretty good odd right there. That is pretty good. Gentlemen, the citation status report just basically shows where those warnings and summonses were issued and the dollar amounts corresponding. Bottom line is that the 8 summonses essentially amounted to $694 in fines being meted out for the month of February. You have a different report, just listed a different way for accidents by street name. That's just backup data. And the next report I'm going to refer to now is the monthly activity report for February from the detective. So in here you'll see that he's picked up an additional felonious sexual assault case, an indecent exposure case, 3 theft cases, 2 forgery cases, criminal mischief, 2 criminal trespass, 2 civil complaints, an ID theft, and 2 cases of inhaling toxic vapors. Now that's kind of important. And I just want to say that when you start seeing these, you know that you're having an impact on the counter-drug fight, if you will, for lack of a better term, because they're having to resort to inhaling vapors in order to achieve that high, which of course is, as you know, is very dangerous. So the percentage of cases closed this month is 85, up from 50% in January. And new cases initiated this month is 9. You'll see from the investigator's monthly work summary report that he's actually very busy, and he's managed to close 67% of the cases from last month that were held over from last month, so those are good numbers. If you look at the prosecutor's report, and I'll just highlight the takeaways from this, $5,122 in fines and restitutions were meted out by the court. 22 defendants responded to 25 charges. Of that, we had 1 trial, 11 pleas, 7 arraignments, 1 probable cause hearing, and 6 pretrial conferences. So you can see in the very short month of February, our prosecutor is very busy, and believe it or not, this was a slow month. School resource officer report. I'll hit the highlights. Pete was a lucky guy this past month where he had a couple of snow days in here. But there at the school, which is a large complex, this month he took 2 unlawful possession of alcohol cases. He investigated 3 assaults, 3 bullying cases, 1 conduct after a crash, 1 fraud, 1 sexting case, tobacco and weapons possession charges. He has a number of juvenile petitions forthcoming, and then you'll see he's dealing with a number of parking issues and motor vehicle violations occurring on the campus. Moving forward to the personnel status report, you'll see the activity of the various officers and their activity year to date. Moving on, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'd like to read a portion of a joint press release.
Before we do that,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to eliminate some of the reports that you give us.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to eliminate the prosecutor report. I'd like to eliminate the offenses listing.
You got that?
I'd like to eliminate the collisions year-to-date. I'd like to eliminate the accident breakdown. I'd like to eliminate the traffic stops year-to-date. And I'd like to eliminate the records analysis report. And those are the ones I'd like to eliminate and have you continue giving us the other reports.
Joe, do we have a second on that motion?
Yes, I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay, for discussion, here's the reason why I think. Number 1, it would save paper. Number 2, it would save time from people, preparing these reports, which are not really of any benefit to me on the commission. I'd rather have reports that are indicating an exception. We know where the accidents occur. Everybody knows that. Center Street's always the top of the list. It doesn't really do us any good to have you worry about the sex and race reports, how many females have been involved, how many Asians involved, how many blacks involved, how many American Indian, Alaskan natives are involved, Hawaiians. These records may be required to be kept by other agencies, but I think with the voluminous amount of paperwork we get, I think we're better off receiving reports that are an exception, or where they deal with individuals that may be contacting us with regard to cases they have, or been treated unfairly, or reports, or whatever. So I would like to propose that. It's been seconded. I'd like to have a vote on it.
Okay, all in favor of Commissioner Goodgame's motion to eliminate those reports for future? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Caledonia, yes.
Okay. It's unanimous.
All right, very good, gentlemen. Consider those eliminated, and if you feel as though that additional reports are needed, or you want other information, please just let me know what it is, and then we'll get it to you.
Well, we want you to continue the reports.
You got it.
Okay.
I understand.
And I also want to stress that it seems to me that every time you give us the chief report, you know, the narrative.
The chief's items.
Yeah, the one you prepare.
Yes, sir.
Personally.
Yes, sir.
That one always seems to be very beneficial to us because it really deals with exceptional situations. And I think that from an oversight standpoint, it is of more value to us.
Okay,
And I want you to keep giving that report.
understood.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, with your permission.
Please.
So what I have in your package, gentlemen, what I'll be reading is a joint press release that has been released by the New Hampshire Attorney General's Office and the Wolfeboro Police Department. And a press release, Alyssa, will be coming out shortly from that agency. So this is the initial release that I'm going to speak to right now, and it's been approved. The New Hampshire Attorney General Joseph A. Foster and Wolfeboro Police Chief Dean Rondeau jointly announced that Tanya McCormick, age 27, of Effingham, pled guilty today in Carroll County Superior Court to selling fentanyl that caused the death of Cole McMahon, age 22, of Wolfeboro. Ms. McCormick was sentenced to 11 to 22 years in New Hampshire State Prison, with 3 years suspended off to the minimum and maximum portions of the sentences for selling the controlled drug fentanyl, which caused Cole McMahon's death in September 2015. On August 31st, 2015, Tanya McCormick met with Cole McMahon in Ospey and sold him a quantity of the controlled drug fentanyl. Cole ingested the fentanyl, suffered an acute intoxication from the fentanyl, causing a fatal overdose, and was found unresponsive in his parents' home in Wolfeboro early on September 1st, 2015. Cole was pronounced dead at Huggins Hospital a short time later. New Hampshire Attorney General Joseph A. Foster said, opioid and fentanyl misuse is our most serious public health and public safety concern. In 2016, it is estimated that New Hampshire suffered over 475 overdose deaths. Nearly 200 involved fentanyl alone, while another 126 involved fentanyl with another drug. Fentanyl is a serial killer. Those who sell it are choosing to sell poison to others and should be held accountable. Ms. McCormick made a choice to sell a deadly drug, and it caused Mr. McMahon's death. Today, she faced the consequences of that choice. Chief Dean Rondeau, the Wolfeboro Police Department, said the investigation, prosecution, and subsequent sentencing of Tanya McCormick highlights the strong interagency cooperation between the Wolfeboro Police Department, the New Hampshire Attorney General's Office, and the United States DEA that is so crucial to fighting and ending our state's opioid epidemic. Today's sentence sends a very strong message to the greater Wolfeboro community about our department's dedication to stopping dealers who sell drugs that could potentially kill, and who continue to do so even when they know their drugs have killed a community member. The state of New Hampshire is faced with a very real fentanyl and heroin crisis never before seen in our state. This nearly 2-year-long investigation underscores the professionalism and the dedication by members of the Wolfeboro Police Department and shows just how committed we are to stopping this crisis. We will continue to team up with our local, county, state, and federal partners to stop those who prey upon some of our most disadvantaged and vulnerable residents. Attorney General Foster and Chief Rondeau jointly announced that this success came about from an investigation by the Wolfeboro Police Department, spearheaded by Detective Guy Maloney, with the assistance of the Office of the New Hampshire Attorney General, the United States Drug Enforcement Administration, the New Hampshire State Police, and the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. And I am greatly indebted to those leaders and those officers and attorneys that work with us every step of the way, especially to the Carroll County Sheriff's Department and Troop E and the New Hampshire State Police. So thank you very much, gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, with that in mind, I'd like to continue on.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, can I continue on with the chief's items? So I have 2 items for non-public pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 91A under both personnel and pending litigation.
Okay.
This month, I want to highlight 2 great police officers for recognition. First is Officer Eric LaRochelle for his outstanding assistance and support to a stranded motorist. Please let me read a letter sent to you by the young lady's grandfather. A copy of the letter is included in your packet, and I will be issuing Officer Eric LaRochelle a commendation here after the chief's items.
Okay.
So the letter I received is from a Stanley Semko, and it's dated 26 February 2017. This is, Dear Chief Rondo, yesterday, February 25th, my daughter's friend, Devin, had a flat tire outside of town on Route 28. She called me for assistance, and of course, I ran to her rescue. When I got there, I attempted to loosen the bolts on the tire, and I could not budge them. By the way, I'm 75 years old. I called 911, expecting a police officer who would be able to provide me with a roadside assistance company that could be available to either change my daughter's tire or tow her car to a gas station. Officer Eric LaRochelle arrived, took out the tools, and changed the tire. I was stunned and very appreciative. Frankly, I don't know what to do. So I asked him how I could show my appreciation. He told me that it wasn't necessary and that he was not allowed to accept gratuities. Of course, I thanked him profusely. I thought that the next best thing that I could do was to contact you and show you my appreciation for a service provided for my daughter and I. Officer Eric LaRochelle helped me in a way that can never be totally appreciated. He was a true Good Samaritan. Yours very truly, Stanley Semko. And we'll be issuing him a letter here momentarily.
Okay.
Moving on. The second is Detective Guy Maloney, who through some excellent detective work was able to close a very difficult drug distribution death resulting case. The U.S. Attorney General's press release is attached for your review. This case represents just how times have changed in Wolfeboro and how we work together with multiple agencies and sometimes our federal law enforcement partners in solving community crimes. In this instance, the Wolfeboro Police Department, through Detective Guy Maloney, the Hampshire State Police, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Carroll County Attorney's Office, the U.S. DEA, and the United States Department of Justice, all worked together during the course of this almost 2-year-long criminal drug investigation and brought it to a successful conclusion. Though nothing can bring back a loved one, and we realize nothing can bring back Cole, at least the family of Mr. McMahon can take some small measure in the fact that Tanya McCormick has pled guilty to her crimes and will have to spend at least 8 years and possibly 18 years in the state penitentiary to reflect on her bad choices and actions. The conclusion of this matter helps some to move on, but for others we know the hurt remains, and this underscores the importance of these types of counter-narcotics investigations and operations. Preventing others from going through the same pain, this is truly important. Take heed out there. If you are dealing and pushing in this poison and we catch you, you will go to prison. I've also received a letter from Chief Sean Bernier of the New Durham Police Department on the outstanding job of 2 of our officers, Sergeant Archambault and Senior Patrolman Mike Strock. I'm expecting another letter to follow for others as well. Officers Eric LaRochelle, again, and Officer Mary Swift, for their brave and courageous actions in the town of New Durham responding to a barricaded subject. More to follow on that later. A copy of the letter mentioned earlier is in your packet. I'm waiting on another letter from Chief Bernier on the other officers. I will issue corresponding letters of commendation to all officers involved for the 2 incidents in that town during April's commission meeting. The month of February remained quiet for personnel actions. The PARs have been sent down to Town Hall for action based upon the town election. The captain and I conducted a staff meeting on 7 February. Another one is scheduled with the department on 23 March. During the last meeting, there was quite a bit of very good and meaningful discussion as the captain and I continued to tap the rudder a few degrees left of right of azimuth. The captain and I continue to be present at Board of Selectmen's meetings. Additionally, we attended the 7 February 2017 town deliberative session and the 22 February candidates night. Both were very informative and telling. We are examining the feasibility of resuming the Wolfeboro Police Department bike patrol downtown. This month for training, 4 officers attended the Carroll County Sheriff's Office control blood bleeding. They were Mary Swift, Officer Mike Strock, Officer Eric LaRochelle, and Detective Guy Maloney. Matters of outreach and interest. I spoke on WSR 5 times this past month from 31 January to present on a number of topics and was invited back to be on a scheduled show for sometime in late March. The captain and I the captain and I are scheduled to speak next week on Wolfeboro Community TV. It was postponed due to the snow. As part of a new segment in responding to community topics of concern, this will be a monthly project and will involve different officers from time to time. The captain and I attended the town vote, and the captain attended the boss meeting on 8 March. All was quiet. I was the keynote speaker at the recent Daughters of the American Revolution meeting, where 3 area students were recognized for their citizenship, and that was really a good thing to see. Our FY18 highway safety grants have been initiated, are in the works, and are being written by the captain. We are looking at competing for approximately $45,000 of extra patrol and equipment money, and that would include new radar grants and traffic crash reconstruction equipment. So more to follow on that. The next thing I would like to do is...
I might comment to add on to this. What do we want to call this report?
It's the chief's items. We always have called it the chief's items.
Chief's items.
Yeah, this is monthly item.
I think you should add on here that you also gave a very nice presentation to the Men's Breakfast Club.
Oh, I forgot about that.
With regard to the new
Gun laws.
Concealed carry.
gun laws,
I forgot
yes. I
about
thought that was very well received. And you've been a busy man.
Yeah, I have been. I hope I was informative and entertaining as well.
You were.
Thank you. That was a joke. It's a tough audience in here. Mr. Chairman, if I could continue, I'd like to bring your attention to a letter that's in your packet from Chief Sean Bernier, and I'd like to read it. It says, Dear Chief Rondo, I would like to take this moment to commend Officer Strock and Sergeant Asherbo. Their assistance to the Durham Police Department at a barricaded subject call was invaluable. With their assistance, the subject was taken into custody without anyone being injured. Please thank Officer Strock and Sergeant Asherbo for their professionalism and assistance to the residents of New Durham. I'll be drafting corresponding letters and awards for presentation for April's meeting. I'm also waiting, as I mentioned, on another letter for Mary Swift and Officer Eric LaRochelle. So at that moment, I'd like to now just take a break and read the letter I prepared for Officer Eric LaRochelle.
Please.
Captain. Yeah. Officer LaRochelle, can you post? Dear Officer LaRochelle, you are hereby officially commended for your selfless act of charity, compassion, and goodwill when you stopped and rendered aid to a stranded female motorist whose vehicle had sustained a flat tire on Route 28 on 25 February 2017. Eric, upon learning of the disabled vehicle, you proceeded directly to that location, met the motorist and her friend just outside the town limits, where you could have just as easily pawned this call for service off to another jurisdiction. You didn't. You proceeded to their aid. You chose to change the tire and quickly get them back on their journey. Though some may claim this was indeed disenfranchised tax dollars being spent in another jurisdiction, you did the right thing. Eric, you are hereby and overwhelmingly commended for your prompt action, dedication to service, and your compassion. Your commitment to others on 25 February 2017 is in the finest traditions of community policing and police service. Your actions reflect great credit upon you, the Wolfeboro Police Department, and the town of Wolfeboro, New Hampshire. Congratulations. Job well done, son. Well done. Thank you. This is exactly what is really important in terms of community policing and police service is assisting others. We don't get an opportunity to do this as often. And I think that's just outstanding work. And this is the type of stuff that I think is just really great.
I don't have any names, but it was mentioned to me too that there were a number of officers that during the storm on Tuesday were rendering aid and pushing cars up. I refer to it as Old Perk, the hill in South Wolfeboro.
That's correct. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a nice segue. I saw that myself, and I was quite impressed. In fact, one of them is sitting right next to me. So the captain was out there, Sergeant Archibald was out there, and Officer Strock was out there, and they were all doing a great impersonation of Frosty the Snowman. But what they were doing. So let me explain this for a moment. There were two work vans from a fire protection company, a private company, not a municipal agency, and they were stuck on Old Perk. And and of course what happens there on 28, so Old Perk is the road up by the restaurant there, the other side of, or east of Suez, thank you, I was going to say the other side of Suez, east of Suez. And when vehicles get stuck on that, it backs up the rest of Route 28. So what the officers did, and I just think is really impressive, and remember how bad it was during Winter Storm Stella, they got out and they literally pushed up Old Perk. All of these cars got the traffic going and then began to push on the vans to get the vans unstuck to get them on their way. And they were very successful. They got one van moved, and then the other van unfortunately drove the wrong way and got stuck in a ditch and had to be towed. But the point is that they assisted a number of motorists up Old Perk by pushing these cars literally up the hill in a snowstorm and then getting at least one of those two vans unmired. And they were out there for hours, which is the other important thing to keep in mind. This wasn't a 5 or 10 minute operation. So again, this underscores how dedicated our police officers really are, and I want the public to know that. We had dispatchers that stayed because of the number of calls coming in for downed power lines and calls coming in for interrupted electrical services and so forth and so on. We had dispatchers that stayed and continued to work their shift even though they had been on duty for now at this point over 8 hours. And again, I think this is really important to recognize. The entire police department worked very hard that day, and I'm grateful nobody was hurt. We didn't have any crashes that I'm aware of, and again, I think that the people are doing the right thing, and that's really good. So thank you for bringing that up, and I'm happy to mention that.
No, it was mentioned to me, and I thought it was worthy of
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, subject to your question, that's all I have.
I do not have any questions. Ron, do you have anything?
I don't have any questions, but I do
Okay.
have some comments and stuff.
On what he just did or on
No,
that?
no,
Okay,
no.
I'm gonna, Alyssa?
Excuse me, I can't talk too much. I would appreciate prosecutor's reports as to Morgan is handling.
Do you want me to give you the prosecutor's report?
Yeah.
You got it. That was easy.
How many pleas there are, and that's
You got it. Too easy.
Anything else, Alyssa? Under commission items, first thing I'd like to mention was that at our last meeting in non-public session, we did in fact discuss, there were a couple of part-time employees that were not did not receive a wage adjustment, as all other part-time employees and other town employees did for the coming years. And that was discussed and agreed upon. That information was forwarded to Town Hall. It was voted on by the commission in the affirmative for those adjustments to occur in keeping with town policy and so forth. And then I believe you forwarded the PARs to the Town Hall.
They've been turned in.
So we are, that's what was accomplished there. I wanted to mention that. The other thing that I'd like to bring up that we tabled a couple of times because of timing and so forth, and we kind of forgot about it, was I would like to entertain a motion on accepting the updated job descriptions for the captain and chief of police. Our last job descriptions were from 2008. These were rewritten some time ago. We've all reviewed them, so basically all I'm looking for is a motion to accept.
Second.
I'll make the motion.
All right. Motion is made by Commissioner Goodgame, seconded by Commissioner Balboni. All in favor?
I'd like to discuss it.
Oh, okay.
Are we discussing the job description for just the chief and the
Yes,
captain?
just for the chief and the captain at this point.
You don't want to discuss the sergeant?
No, I think we'll do that as we've got time to do that, because that's not even going to take effect till, what, 18?
No. Yeah, that's the
2019.
thing, see, it's getting mixed up. There's a sergeant job description, and then there's also a first sergeant, or staff sergeant position.
Oh, you're
The
correct,
staff
I'm sorry.
sergeant
I looked
isn't
at the staff
appropriate,
sergeant,
yeah.
yes.
But I think we should go ahead and do
Include
the
the sergeant
sergeant.
as well, yes.
Mm.
Yep, I have that one here. There it is.
Okay,
Yep.
so if we're then going to move the chief of police description, the
Captain.
captain position, job description, and the sergeant job description, I'd like to make that motion
To adopt?
to adopt them, yeah.
Okay. Do we have a second, Joe?
I second that, Steve.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And let's date these so that we do have a timestamp on them. This will be
Balboni, yes.
3/16 of 2017.
Okay.
Do you have copies, Amy? Do you need copies?
I have copies of them, so I actually have an approved stamp that I'll put on them and put the
Okay.
date.
And then secondly, I think they should be made a part of the police department
Rules and regulations.
rules and regulations.
Absolutely.
Consider it done, gentlemen.
Okay. Okay. The next item on the agenda is policies and procedures. I would just like to say for the public's knowledge, if you will, we had spoken of this before in our meeting. A member of our town, Suzanne Ryan, came in, suggested during public input that we develop some standard operating procedures and how we manage our meetings and conduct our meetings. We did in fact hear Mrs. Ryan. I assured her that we would definitely consider that. I reached out to her shortly thereafter and said that we were in fact accomplishing that task. I also alluded to Mrs. Ryan and the general populace that was, or the people that were here during candidate night, that we did in fact have a draft version accomplished at that point, and we had hoped that we would be able to adopt it at this meeting. We have in fact done that. It has been staffed through town council for its from the legal aspect and passed muster. So at this point, Mrs. Ryan, on behalf of the Wolfeboro Police Commission, I thank you for your suggestion. I think we have a very solid policy and procedure document here. We're just going to, this is our first formal meeting as a commission, if you will, to discuss what was put together, and so that we're probably going to have a little discussion, make some changes, so if you bear with us. But it is our goal to hopefully adopt these policies within a matter of minutes.
Thank
Okay?
you for being so responsive, and appreciate it.
We thank you for your input.
Now we have only one place to go.
Yeah.
Instead of searching our memories as to what we're doing, you know? We do have a compendium now.
Okay. All right, I am going to actually defer to Commissioner Goodgame, who did some good work here, and ask if he would initiate the review, if you will. For the interest of brevity, I don't think it's necessary to read the entire document. I think I know I personally reviewed it. I made notes on different pages where I would either want to make a grammatical correction or make a change for some reason. So we can just go through page by page to see if there's any discussion or changes. Does that make sense?
That's fine with me.
Okay, you okay with that, Joe?
After all the hard work, we're not even going to read it all. Anyway, anybody have any comments on my page 1 of 9?
I do.
Ooh, didn't go very far.
And under section 1, under purpose, the sentence that one sentence that reads, "These rules of procedure describe the duties, mechanics, and methods of operation for the Wolfeboro Police Commission while prescribing general rules of conduct for its members." Proscribing, rather. I want to change proscribing to prescribing, because the word proscribing
I got it,
is an oxymoron.
I got it.
It alludes to, yeah. That's all I have on that page. Are you all set with page 1, Joe?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, how about page 2?
I'm good on page 2.
Well, I went through it again and realized that there were a couple of mistakes in there, so.
Okay?
Paragraph 5, 1, 2, 3, third line down.
Mhm.
They are not licensed to do so, semicolon,
Right,
okay? And then take out "for the accused," semicolon,
okay.
okay? And then further down, about halfway down, there's a line that goes "an outside agency."
Mhm.
See that?
Yes.
There should be a semicolon after agency and a small a on "as such." I mean, pretty good so far. We got through
Yeah.
page 2. Anything on 3?
Just for the sake of discussion, under number 9,
Yeah.
the very first part of the first sentence that says, "unless waived and approved by a full commission advance,"
Mm-hmm.
do we want to leave that in there as it reads, or just omit that altogether so that the sentence starts with commission members?
Well, I wrote it up "unless waived and approved," because I think that will allow such a transaction to take place. Otherwise, I think it is proscribed.
Okay?
Get it?
I do.
Proscribed this
Yep.
time.
All right. I'm okay with that. I wanted to.
Okay. Is that okay with you, Joe?
Joe?
Go ahead, I can hear you now.
Yeah, oh, okay, on page 3, at the top, page 9, number 9, at the top of page 3, "unless waived." Are you okay with that sentence?
Yeah, I have that. I got that, write that down, yep.
Okay. The only other thing I had, at the bottom of page 3, the very last sentence under double B, it says, "if S/he." I
Yeah,
think we should clarify that to "if she or he,"
right.
okay?
Right, got it. Page 4,
Page 4, I have nothing.
where is vice chairman? See that? 2?
Yes.
Number 2. Chairman is unable to attend. Take out that comma, follows attend.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
That was easy.
Yeah. 5?
I do, actually.
Me too.
Under Schedule B, or excuse me, under letter B, Schedule of Meetings,
Uh-huh.
citizens wishing to discuss topics not on the agenda, I would like to omit notifying the commission chair. I don't think that would be a task easily accomplished by the average person.
Okay.
I think it best that So I think it should just eliminate commission chair, so it says, you shall notify the commission chair through the chief of police
How
or the
about just-
captain.
How about then just saying, shall notify the commission, strike chair, through the commission secretary, chief of police, or the captain in writing?
Now, I want to omit commission secretary, so we can say.
Oh, you want to
notify the-
eliminate her?
Yeah, well, I don't want to eliminate her, but I want to eliminate that from you. Yeah, all right, no, I like that, we can remove
So
chair.
you want to say
and
through the chief of police?
The commission through the chief of police or the captain. And just for clarification for the public, we've talked about this in the past, you know, we do want to be transparent, we do want to be approachable, we want to be open to discussion. And at the same time, there has to be some management of that discussion. What I'm suggesting in this particular case, I'm not going to go through all the verbiage and put it in the policy, but there are very many options, or various options, I should say, if you want to reach out to a commissioner, or just let the commission know that you want to be on the agenda to discuss a particular topic in advance. You may call the police department, you may ask that you have a particular commissioner call you back, or you may have just request a commissioner call you back, or the chief or captain for that matter, that's fine. Just a conversation so that we know that you want to be on the agenda and what your specific subject matter is that you wish to discuss. The other option that you have is you could drop off a note to police dispatch, but please be very specific should you choose to do that. If you leave a note in an envelope that you want to be placed on the next meeting's agenda to discuss a particular topic, put on there for commission meeting agenda, because the dispatcher will timestamp that and date it when it comes in, so we know. But just hypothetically speaking, if the chief or the captain aren't in their office and it says chief or captain on it, or one of the commissioners, it may go in our mailbox, and I'm not at the station every day, and if they're out and it goes in their mailbox, they may not see it, and if the dispatcher's busy when they return. So I'm not making excuses for anybody, I'm just stating that things do happen, things get lost in translation. So if the dispatcher knows that it's for the commission agenda, they'll make sure that it's dealt with in a very timely fashion. They've been instructed to do that. And again, you can always call dispatch and request that one of us call you back. If you want to get on the agenda, we'll be happy to accommodate you in that fashion. So, yes, that change, Ron, I agreed with there. And then at the,
So how about if we say shall notify a commissioner,
shall notify the
the chief
commission.
of police, or the captain in writing?
Sure,
Absolutely, that's good.
okay.
Okay. What else you have?
Okay. The other thing I just want to bring up while we're talking about this, and again, this is for public information, is if you notify us within the 48-hour time frame before a meeting that you want to be on the agenda, you'll be on the agenda to discuss whatever matter you wish to discuss. But more likely than not, your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss will not be on the agenda, because the agenda will have already been posted. But we will still hear you. We would not have you come to a meeting or even have you assume that you were going to come to discuss an item without letting you know at first if for some reason you couldn't, or we weren't going to be able to accommodate you in that fashion. But we do want to, we just want you to be aware. It was brought up at a previous meeting that names or subjects weren't on the agenda, and if the timing isn't right, it's not going to happen, because the agenda does have to be posted in a timely fashion. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to be heard. Okay.
Before you flip the page.
Sure.
Third line from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I found that I have a small a on agenda. I want it to be capped.
Okay.
And then on the top of page 6, first line, capitalize agenda, and then capitalize agenda on the next line.
good with 6.
Anything, Joe?
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. 7?
Page 7? I have nothing on 7.
8?
Page 8?
No brainer.
I'm good with page 8.
Gentlemen, go back to page 7.
Oh,
You really want to take that white space out there. You got looks like about 3
Oh, yeah.
extra lines. Yeah, take that white space out and just bring everything up.
What are you talking about?
On the
He
top
just
of
wants
page
to even
7,
that
Joe,
close.
between letters D and E, there's quite a gap in space there. We just need to tighten that up.
Okay. All
Just a
right.
lot of blank space there.
No, it's pretty good.
Okay. So nothing on page 8. Ron, are you all set with page 8?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, I do want to, I do have one change to make. At the very bottom where it says page 8 of 9, let's show it as page 8 of 8. There is no page 9. That just happened to come out blank,
Yeah.
probably, right?
Mm.
Which is, other than that, I see nothing.
Mhm. Okay, so let's turn to the appendix. Now, this is going to get attached to the proposed, and we have month XX, year at 4 p.m., Wolfeboro Public Library. Do you want to have something like, I mean, we wrote that in because that's the way it's going to be, but do you want to have something that says like date and location? And then a line? Or are you okay with this as
Well,
it
this
is?
right here technically should just be location.
Yeah, but I mean, do you want me to put in like location, colon, and a line, and, you know, in other words, make it more generic?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just because of the way we do it now. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so we'll put meeting agenda, cross out, double X, and we'll put date, colon, huh?
Date and time?
Yeah, sure. And then a line, huh? And then under that, we'll put location, colon, a line.
Yeah. We can do that similar to the bottom too, like the names that could
Hey,
just
Steve,
happen.
with all these corrections, make sure Amy sends me a snap copy, please.
Yep, once we, yeah, we'll have to get this all cleaned up and reprinted.
We're gonna take Joe back.
Like we could just put name versus the actual name.
Oh, okay. Steve Wood,
Well, actually, should we just omit commissioner, the names? Just
yeah,
put-
Amy's just saying, why don't we just put
We could just put names. I mean, I put it on there in case
colon,
somebody
Okay.
just doesn't know
Steve
who the
Wood, Ron
commissioners are.
Goodgame, Joe Aloni, huh?
I mean, in
Hey, you know what
reality,
we
we have the
could do?
website now. This is like.
You
all-
wanna make it really simple and put the phone number?
I had the phone number.
Hmm? Yeah, no, but I meant like, you know, your cell phone number or something.
No, I don't know for myself.
No, just leave it like it is. 1444,
Yes.
okay.
Oh, Ron.
Well, put yourself.
That's why he was a lawyer.
Okay.
Yada, yada, yada.
He's the best.
All right.
Okay, so I'll get this typed up. And
I,
what are we gonna do with it? Are we gonna just leave it like this, or you're gonna put it in a folder? Or
Well,
are
I
we gonna have
think
it?
what we need to do is we need to take a vote to adopt as amended.
Yeah, I know, but how do you wanna bind it, or what are we gonna do with it? Just put it in our minutes? And
Well, I think,
how does the public get a hold of a copy of it? Can you just publish it?
We can put it with the minutes at this
Yeah.
meeting.
Ah, that's a good idea. Let's just attach it with the minutes.
once it's cleaned up, obviously.
Yeah, after we-
Because
Once you adopt it, you can put it on the town website.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
forth and so
put it
on.
On
There's its
our
own,
website.
And we'll get you a
Pendium.
copy sent down, Joe, and then,
Yep,
we'll take copies too and put them in our binders.
They're gonna have some new
Yep.
website training too, we found out today, like the 11th of
Pardon?
April. They said today we were gonna get some more training for the website.
That's correct. It came out in the staff meeting today at Town Hall that the web company's gonna come in and.
Fix all the glitches.
Help us clean up our.
Yeah, they've got some work to do, but yeah, then they're gonna go through a training process, yeah. So,
Do you think Sherry can do this?
Well, when you say bind it, I mean, we can.
No,
go-
just do a final on it and give it back over to
Yeah,
Amy so she can put it on
whatever you
the
wanna
website.
do, yeah, just give it to us. Give us your marked up copy.
You didn't make any marks on it, huh? Okay. Don't lose that, I want it back.
I will. Yeah, I'll give you mine marked up copy
Let's
too.
roll it right in
as
the
a
shredder.
reference. Okay, so,
See what you did, Suzanne?
Um,
You got us fighting. All right. Okay, my job's done.
Well, we need a motion. I'll make a motion, seeing how you did the heavy lifting, Commissioner Good Game. I will make a motion that we accept, or adopt rather, the standard operating procedures, the rules of procedure for the Wolfeboro Police Commission as amended. Do I have a second, Joe?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Galboni, yes.
So actually, Mark, if you want to date those adopted today,
Excellent.
we'll sign a clean copy for the front.
It's got that on the front, doesn't it?
No, I put draft 7.1, that was my own reference there.
No, the one I gave the chief.
316, yeah, there's
Oh,
time dated.
Didn't
I'm
it say
sorry.
that?
Yep, it
Chief?
did, I apologize.
1658.
Chief, it's already on the front, isn't it?
Yep, yes, it is.
Yeah, but it's gonna go.
Okay. That clears up the commission items. Did you have anything else on the commission items, Ron?
No, but I want to go into non-public too. Actually, it's for the captain. We're going to go into non-public.
Oh, yes, that's a
But it
personnel.
looks like the next one would be Joe Melanson.
Yep. Okay, Mr. Melanson, if you'd like to have a seat, whatever.
Sure, just a question on the agenda. Has to be posted 48 hours or 24 hours before the meeting?
48.
24, I thought it was 24, so if somebody requests to be on there 48 hours, then you could possibly get the names on then. Or if I was requesting today to be continued over to the next meeting, would my name be on there in reference to what?
With that type of time, obviously, yes, but if you notify us at say 49 or 50 hours, it all depends on, how quickly things move through the process, or how, if Amy's out for the day or whatever, she may not get the information.
All right.
But
It's
it
only
could be.
required 24 still, right?
This agenda was posted Sunday. I did amend it, and there's an amended agenda that has your name on it, but it's not on the website because,
I asked her to put your name on it, once we got the notification from them and show that you were going to be here, but, yeah.
The next issue I was going to bring up, are you commissioners informed why I'm here? Do you know what? the
We
reason
are,
is?
and if you'll take a seat, Joe, or you can stay right there.
Yeah, I'll stay here, sure.
Okay.
It's all right with me.
Okay.
Um,
Just for the record, Joe, it's my understanding that you are here because you handed me the note, and I understand you gave one also to Captain Libby, that you wish to discuss in a public session. You clearly stated you want to discuss this in public. And I'm going to word it this way, you allege that at the last meeting that you were called an inappropriate, or an inappropriate remark was made toward you, if you will, in the interest of decorum, from Commissioner Balboni. Is that fairly
That's correct. It
accurate?
was alleged.
Okay.
I think it was.
Well,
Yeah.
you've alleged it, we're going to hear it, so at this point, it's an alleged,
And
so.
I think it has to be public session. I don't think the board members are entitled to go to non-public when there's an accusation against.
That's
one of the board
correct.
members.
Right.
Once again, you're correct.
Thank you. My thoughts, the commission states, so please attend a meeting, express an interest, get on the agenda and speak if you wish. We want to hear from you. As a member of the public, I did just that. The February meeting, Commissioner Balboni.
Hold on, Joe. Yeah. Can you not hear, Joe?
I'm here, I can, go ahead.
All right. I'll talk louder. At the February meeting, Commissioner Balboni made the comment that he's a effing idiot in reference to my comments. I didn't think this was an insult. I think it was a hostile response to a member of the public.
Okay, I'll paraphrase in a moment, Joe.
Well, I can give you a copy of this if
All
you
right.
want. I think this is a contradiction from what the commission states. The commission has to listen to the public whether you agree or disagree. If a member of the public says something you don't agree with, you can think of the bad language, but you should not say that in a public session. I think this has damaged the effectiveness of the commission, that the comments are not conducive to a rational discussion. I think if someone went down the street and used this language, they could probably, be considered like disorderly conduct, which is a person that commits an offense if he intentionally or knowingly uses abusive, indecent, profane, or vulgar language in a public place. I'm just wondering, the commissioners have to be held to a higher standard. Conduct unbecoming of elected officials should not be tolerated and should consider resignation. I'm just curious, how does each commissioner feel about the comments made, or is this, I'm sure, not the general concession of the commissioners? And were each of you informed what was said by Commissioner Balboni?
You're going to be provided, Joe, with, excuse me one minute.
I'm just curious how you're going to change the perception of the commission so that the public believes you care about their input.
Joe, Mr. Melanson has a written statement of what he just stated that we'll make sure that you get, so that you have it for your record. I apologize for the audio. Now, no, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Melanson, and my question to you is this. Again, you've alleged that, and I'm just playing, or not playing here, I mean, this is serious.
I think Peter informed Commissioner Goodgang that it was mentioned at
Well-
the candidates' night, and you can hear it on the video, the audio, on Commissioner. It's
Well,
there.
That's not entirely correct.
first of all, when, all
Did you
right,
listen to it?
gentlemen.
I
if you-
have.
Ron, so give me a moment, please. Joe, if you would tell me specifically when this transpired, what part of the meeting this transpired at?
I had the time, it was about 1 hour into the meeting.
No, I mean, do you recall the discussion, what was going on at the time?
I don't remember, I don't have my notes here, but it was about 1 hour into the commission, just around 5 o'clock it was said. If you play it back, I think.
Well, I can tell you this, I'm not sure who reviewed it at the television.
I can ask Mr. Pedron.
Was it listened to by people today at the, or,
Okay, so, I went down, I read the article in the newspaper, the Grand State News.
Yeah, did you listen to the?
I'm getting there, Joe, let me get there. So I went down and I asked if I could watch the video from the Wolfeboro Community TV to see if I could hear. And we looked at it, and Peter, you were there. We heard several statements from Commissioner Balboni, to be quite honest with you, they're unintelligible. So I don't know what you heard.
Well, I can tell you what I
Because,
heard.
hang on, Joe, I'm not done yet.
Well, all right, well, you.
Well, let me go.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me go.
Yep,
All right, stop interrupting.
I didn't.
You did. You
Okay.
interrupt all the time. You just
Okay.
did it. Stop it.
All right, go ahead.
In fact, when I was at Wolfeboro Community TV, there was a number of us gathered around trying to listen to this. And to be quite honest with you, nobody could make out what was said. We had a young man who was 17 or 18 who was 23, okay, had 23 and
21?
22,
21.
21, sorry,
You had
21.
12 up, actually, Peter. There you go.
Presumably has untrammeled hearing. He couldn't make it out. We just weren't sure. So I asked for a copy of the video. I watched the video in detail, right from the very beginning, right to the very end. And the speaker is so poor on this phone, no offense to anybody's cell phone, it's unintelligible.
Right.
It's
and I-
there, I have the disc.
Well,
I can ask Peter, did you hear it in there? You had mentioned to Mr. Good, I have it. I'd be glad
Well,
to share and
no,
play
well,
it.
you don't need to, because I'll tell you this right now, Joe.
Peter was just shaking his head.
Yeah,
I just asked if you heard it.
yeah, he said
He
no.
says no.
But I listened to it today. The reason I asked you specifically, if you recall, when this alleged thing was made, is I was trying to the only thing that I watched the video today. Again, the audio was very unintelligible through pretty much all of the
Most of
meeting,
it,
when it comes to the telephone. And at the very end, as you got up and you were off camera, because it's the only word that I could clearly make out. And I'm trying to use my best recollection from the last meeting, but I remember you getting up and walking away, and you said, I'm just trying to help. And the word "me" comes out. That's what what I can hear is the word "me." And when I heard that, it reminded me of, are you freaking kidding me? That verb or that statement came to my mind upon hearing that. I hadn't heard it since the last meeting. I didn't even know what I was looking for, but I know that I didn't hear anything until that very end when I heard the word after you got up. And that was the only time that I heard anything legible from Commissioner Balboni. And the word "me" didn't equate to what you were alleging, so I couldn't go either way with it.
Well, what I'll do is I will provide the disc. Were you ever informed at candidates night,
Uh-oh.
Mr. Commissioner Goodgame?
Yes.
That it was said
What?
Joe, are you still there?
that Joe would use that word?
What happened here?
I missed it. What'd you ask me?
I thought at candidates night when I was here, that Mr. Pijon had mentioned to you that was mentioned by Mr. Balboni, because I had asked.
My recollection is that Peter came up to me and he said, just for your information, we're not editing out anything on that last meeting.
Right, because of the language used.
And I wasn't sure what he meant.
Well, that's okay, but I'll make sure what I'll do for the next meeting, if you want me to, I will put someone.
I said that because it was alleged that something inappropriate was said. That was the only reason
Okay,
I
hold
said
on,
that.
John, speak.
I did not hear it myself. In fact, I was not even at the meeting when it was, Tim Goodwin was here and recorded that meeting.
He wasn't in here, though. Okay.
But Bell, you say you heard it distinctly?
I did, and it was during the kerfuffle over, these policies and procedures and the tension that occurred while that was being discussed. It was clear to me in hearing it from the phone, what Joe was saying was said.
Was this, as Joe was getting up,
No.
taking the chair, it was sometime
Oh, he was still sitting down.
before that?
Yeah. It was during the actual discussion of
Maybe we were listening to our own part.
policies and procedures.
Possible.
Well, if you listen to the whole video, it's there.
Your recollection is you were still sitting?
I think I was sitting, then after
Yeah,
it was said,
that's
I was
fine.
gonna get up and leave. But
It's around the time you mentioned something about he should take his medications or something.
yeah, you
like
mentioned
that.
something, go take a pill, and I
Yeah.
thought that was part of the whole thing that was mentioned, so
Yeah,
I
it was
just
around that.
I just let that go.
Oh,
I listened to that part, I didn't hear anything like that at all.
what?
Now, what I did hear was you tell Joe to take a pill.
Hmm.
And I think that may have prompted a question from Commissioner Balboni and asked, what is he, on drugs? Now, I heard that.
I think that was mentioned before, too.
I heard that.
It was around
And then-
that whole-
And then Joe, I think, responded back to you and said, did you just tell me to take a pill?
I did.
And then you said, yes, I did, take an aspirin.
Hmm.
And then, I
think I
think, then
said
Joe
two,
said, well, I'm offended by that, or,
No.
oh, no, it's inappropriate. And then Joe told you to take a pill. Now, that's what I remember.
I was sitting in front of the
We'll
phone.
find out. If Mr. Bell heard it. The chief can't hear it.
I didn't hear it on the recording.
No.
Put him on the mic.
And I will produce it. I have a copy. I have it there. I've
Well,
listened to it.
I'm not disputing what you say, Joe. All I know is that I had the phone in front of me. I remember the discourse that took place with you and the commission on that day. I'm fairly certain,
Well, that was just positive. Whatever.
no, but I mean, I'm fairly confident that had something like that been said to where, I mean, and it was audible and everybody could hear it, it would have elicited a reaction from us up here. We would have been, oh my God, or, you know, and that was the other thing that I was watching the video, was watching to see, first what was being said, to see what I could hear out of it, and then watching the people at this table's reaction to see if maybe something wasn't legible through audio, if somebody's reaction
Bring him up to the head table.
would, you know,
I will
You can't
put me
hear.
an agenda, I will be glad to pursue this further, and I will,
Why don't you, Joe, why don't you just take it up with Balboni when he gets back?
well, I'm just curious
Huh?
what the commission feels about it, and
Well,
what
I
should be
mean-
done, if anything, or what maybe Joe has to
Well,
comment on. That's all.
there's not a whole lot that the commission can do, and I think you know that. So to raise it as a commission issue is kind of a red herring, right?
Well, no, I'm just like a voice for anyone else from the public that wants to come in and speak. I just hope the perception, I mean, the public does care if they come here, that you do appreciate listening to input. That's all. You can't say one thing, you can't talk the talk and not walk the walk. I mean, you've
and
got
again, you know, we do want the public to come in and speak. We want them to feel comfortable to come in and speak. We do address in the SOPs, maintaining decorum in our meetings. I'm fairly certain that if I heard that, I might have reached out to Commissioner Balboni and said, you know, you might want to watch it. You know, that wasn't a good choice.
well,
But,
Mr. Bell heard it, I heard it.
well, it just,
YouTube did.
and
so
I'm
there's
not
gotta be-
disputing
Right.
what you
So-
gentlemen are saying. I'm not alleging anything about what you're saying. All I'm saying is we were sitting here closer to the phone. I just don't recall it happening. I couldn't make it out on the video. If you have a better audio-video representation, which I assume came from the same
Yeah.
Point
master.
of information, there are at least 6 people that did not hear it,
Okay,
Right.
okay.
and 1 heard it.
Who would expect to hear it?
And I maintain that the one that heard it is because he was prompted by Mr. Melanson that that's what he heard.
No, I'm sorry.
I've got no axe to
Well,
grind here.
No. that's
No, and
ridiculous.
you know what, I don't want to
That's not
entertain
right.
that either, and I don't want to get into a he said
That's
kind of
ridiculous.
thing. That's counterproductive.
It's on
Uh,
the audio and video.
all right.
That's- I take that.
What we
That's
will do,
very
Mr.
offensive.
Melanson, is we will carry this over to the next meeting, per your request. If you'd like to meet in the interim prior to that, and give us, or show us your copy, so that we could hear it, we could do that. And then we can, you know, discuss it further.
They're concerned, so if you can,
No, I would appreciate if you leave me with that paper so I can give it to Mr. Balboni so that he knows exactly what was stated. And we will put Mr. Melanson on the agenda for next month. And in the interim, we will try to
I
clear
want to
this
say that
up.
I totally object to what Peter just said, that I had no axe to grind, there was nothing I to do with Mr. Bell about going along or anything, you know, prompted by me or motions to have him agree to that. That's absolutely absurd.
Okay. So we will see you at the next meeting. It might be best if you just contact Chief Rondo to set up a time, and we can,
Yeah.
we can review your disc to see if it differs from the very disc that we, or the same disc that we have, and to see if perhaps your copy is more audible and legible than what we have.
I mean, I have no reason to say it if I didn't hear it there. It's not on, there's no reason to
Okay,
bring it up.
well,
that's all.
we'll, again, and you know, I don't know Mr. Bell as well as you do, but I've met him. I find him to be a decent guy, and
Yeah.
I have no, so,
Point of information,
sir,
there is no such thing as one disc being more any different from another disc. They all have the same audio, absolutely the same audio.
okay. Well, I think given the gravity of this, I think it's at least worth reviewing Mr. Melanson's copy just to see, just in the interest of transparency and doing the right thing. So we will see you at the next meeting, Mr. Melanson.
Okay, no, thank you.
Okay.
I'll give this to Amy.
Amy,
Put
yeah.
that in the minutes.
Do you want that in a minute?
Sure. Yeah, thanks.
Give me a copy.
I just want to make one comment, and that is that I still don't understand why, Joe, you don't just take it up with Balboni. You know, and we know, that there's nothing really that the commission can do. I think it's a sad time when you're trying to impugn somebody's character. And we want to take a little something and blow it into this, you know, red line in Syria. And, you know, it's one of those kinds of things where it's a no-win. It's a no-win. If you're right, and he used the term, and you've never used it, of course.
Not public session. I might think it, but I don't use it in public saying.
Yeah, Joe, but, you know, I've been in your shop, and, you know, you're not the cleanest whistle in town.
Well, I disagree with that. There's never been any bad language here in there.
Anyway, I just don't understand why you're so intent on bringing this on and on and on and on. It's a no-win for everybody.
Well, then why was it said? I'm the voice for, if anyone wants to bring something from the public to you, I want them to understand that they will be listened to, that's all.
Well, I don't think there's been
Instead of-
any better than the last 10 years that have felt their skins pricked by something he says.
This is the first time, but hey, someone has to do it if it's not right. I mean, put yourself in my shoes, what would you do?
Well, that's the question. Well, what I do, I'd go have a talk with the guy that said it.
Well, I would, but he's in Florida. I'm not going to talk to him, I'll speak face to face.
Well, you know, is it something that is so urgent that you can't either pick up the phone and call him, or
That's why I
wait till he
brought-
gets home?
That's why I brought it to the commission.
Okay.
I mean, think of what you're doing.
You can do it all sorts of different ways.
Just think of what you're doing. Okay.
Okay, all right. What did I do with my agenda? Right here. I've got it right here, I misplaced it. Luke is not here. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to go into non-public session under 91, RSA 91-A.
Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Oh, yes, Mr.
May I
Bell.
just say a few words? I'm not on the agenda, but I just wanted to...
Something pertinent to the business that has been discussed here today?
No, actually,
No,
it's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, you predetermined.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm Tom Bell. I was a candidate for the commission, and I just want to congratulate...
Here, Stevie.
I want to congratulate now Steve Wood for his successful reelection and for now being the chairman, for Ron Goodgame to be the vice chairman, and also for the help and assistance that you gave me in kind of sorting through and understanding the process and the procedures. Also to Chief and Captain for welcoming me to understand and educate me
My pleasure.
in
My pleasure.
knowing what goes on in the process. So I'll look forward to seeing you all in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very
Okay?
much.
Mhm.
Thanks, Tom.
I'm sure we will.
Okay,
Oh, and by the way, if you ever want to see a facsimile of Frosty the Snowman, look no further than Chairman Wood outside of Town Hall on Election Day.
so this time I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91A, under both A and B.
Second.
Motion is moved by Commissioner Balboni, second by Commissioner Goodgame.
Yep, second.
Let's take a poll.
Baloney, yes.
Balboni, yes. Commissioner Goodgame?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood, yes. And Secretary Michaud, if you'll stay and take the minutes, we'll also invite the captain and chief to be with us in the meeting.